Hello and welcome to week 5 of ChromeVox from Basics to Mastery. This week we're going to look at the Chrome browser itself. We're not going to really look at navigating the internet until next week, but these are the various features of the browser, such as bookmarks, history, downloads, and the settings center. So let's go ahead and get started. Google Chrome is the built-in browser for the Chromebook. Many of the same concepts that are used to understand how JAWS and NVDA work on the internet can also be applied here. Remember, and we've said this multiple times, the programs on a Chromebook are all essentially open in web pages. So, in a way, all pages open up in the Chrome browser. There is more than one way to do almost everything, and this is just one method of opening the Google Chrome browser. First, you're going to open the launcher, and to do that, we have to navigate there by using Alt plus Shift plus L, and then press Search plus Space to activate that. Use your Chromebook's navigation keys, or your ChromeVox ones, it doesn't really matter which, to navigate to Chrome in the launcher area, and select it with Search plus Space. In the event that Chrome is not located in the first level, you're going to want to navigate to Expand All Apps and press Search plus Space again to activate that. Navigating the All Apps area is relatively simple. You're just going to use your arrow keys to find Chrome and then do a Search plus Space to activate and open it. This is a second method to opening Chrome, and this really only works if you have something like a doc or a Google Sheet or something else open. So this isn't really opening Google Chrome as much as it is opening a new tab. You can open a new tab from wherever you are in a doc, slide, all of that we talked about. Again, and we can't stress this enough, all Google Chromebook apps and programs are web-based and essentially run in the Chrome browser. To create a new tab, press Ctrl plus T, and obviously you're going to need to switch between open tabs, so to do that you need to do a Ctrl plus Tab. Remember, the difference between Ctrl plus Tab is that Ctrl plus Tab navigates you among tabs or areas in the same program, whereas Alt Tab opens up and navigates you between different windows or different programs entirely. This is the Google Chrome layout, and this is what will probably show up when a new tab is opened. The Google homepage is shown here to the left. You can navigate the homepage with your ChromeVox navigation commands, which are search plus left and right arrow, and we're going to kind of look at how it's set up here. The very top is called the tab bar. It's very important to know the correct names of things because when you ask for help, you need to be able to correctly name each of the things that you're having difficulty with so that the technology person on the other end of the line or the email or what have you is aware of what's going on. So the first bar is that tab bar, and the reason we call it that is because it lists and shows all of the tabs that are available in that particular browsing session. And you can of course navigate those. Below the tab bar is the address bar. That's just simply for our purposes right now. It's just where you would type in the URL of anywhere you would care to visit. Below that address bar is the bookmarks bar, and we're going to get into that bookmarks bar here in just a second. Chrome allows you to access and create bookmarks, and while navigating that bookmarks bar or when adding a bookmark, you're going to use these keys. Control plus Shift plus B will show and hide that bookmarks bar. So this bar right here, this bottom bar, that can be hidden. And that works very well for people that are easily kind of thrown off by having an extra thing there, or people who don't benefit from having like a cluttered screen. Alt Shift B will navigate to the bookmarks bar. It will take you there and allow you to use your navigation keys to get around it. Control plus D will add a bookmark, and that's simple enough. If you're on a web page that you want to make sure is bookmarked that you can visit again, Control D is a great command. It will add that bookmark, and you'll be presented with a dialog box that we're going to look at a little further in the class this week. Finally, there's Control plus Shift plus O, and that shows the Bookmarks Manager and allows you to manage the bookmarks. And that's another thing we're going to look at. Once you have opened the Bookmarks Manager, your cursor is placed in the search field, and that allows you to search for a specific bookmark if you know what you're looking for or maybe what you called it. If you navigate out of that search area by hitting escape or a tab or just kind of getting out of that, you will be able to navigate to the Organize menu, which allows you to do some more with the bookmarks, and we'll look at what that does on the next slide. But just for your knowledge, it's on the right side of the sort of upper area of the screen, and it's visually represented by 3 vertical dots. As we said, part of the Bookmarks Manager is the Organize menu, and you would open that obviously with a search plus space when you are focused on that item. And this menu will allow you to sort your bookmarks, make new folders, add new bookmarks, and import and export bookmarks from other browsers. It can also open a link to the Help Center if you need it. Back to the Bookmarks Manager main area, the left side of the screen is a navigation tree area, and it allows the user to navigate among the bookmarks bar, the bookmarks folder, and other folders that may be present. The current folder that's showing is the bookmarks bar folder, and it's shown in that middle sort of larger area, and it shows only the items that are in focus and chosen from that navigation tree area that we just talked about that's on the left. There is also a button next to each item. It activates a pop-up with options that allow you to control that bookmark to cut, copy, delete, or edit the bookmark. And visually those are represented with, again, those 3 vertical dots. It seemed like a good idea to show you what a folder that had more bookmarks in it would look like, and that's kind of what this visually looks like here. This screenshot is just showing what is in the, I believe it's the mobile bookmarks folder that's on the left, and it shows what each one of those bookmarks is. And as you may notice, again, next to each one of those items is a more options button that will allow you to cut, copy, delete, and edit that bookmark, just like in the previous slide. As we said before, adding a bookmark in Chrome is pretty easy. You can add one with Control plus D, and this is the dialog box that's going to appear. Your focus is going to be in the name field, so you can just type whatever you want to name it. In this particular example, I have I'm focused on the Wisconsin Center's webpage, so the default name it gave me for that bookmark was Wisconsin Center for the Blind and Visually Impaired. Should I wish, I could just simply type WCBVI, and that would fill in that name portion. The name suggestion, doesn't really matter. What really matters is you pick one that you would associate with the webpage that you're trying to bookmark. And you can navigate that dialog box with a tab key. Another part of adding a bookmark is making sure that you know where you saved it. Otherwise, having that bookmark really isn't going to do you quite as much good as you might like. You can use the tab key to navigate to that next area, and you'll be focused on a pull-down menu. And the menu shows a variety of locations that you might want to save that bookmark. To open that pull-down, you're going to do space or a search plus space. It's kind of touchy. I'm not really sure which one works the best, but try both of them. Once that's activated, that up and down arrow keys will navigate that box, and you can choose which one of those places to save your document and then just press enter. If you were to have not selected that drop-down menu, you would have been given an option to move to the More Items menu, and that's what we're going to look at next. If you select the More button in the Add Bookmark dialog, you're going to be able to edit the bookmark that you're adding a little more clearly. This includes editing the name, the URL, or add a folder that you want to save the bookmark in. So, for example, you would navigate this dialog box with the tab key, and if you were focused in that middle area where the bookmarks bar is, you could enter that area and make a choice about which one of those three areas you wanted to save that bookmark in. Another thing that you could do is you could navigate with another tab down to New Folder, and it would add a new folder to wherever your focus is in that main area of that dialog box, and you would be able to name that folder right away and press enter, and that would save it. You could also, if you were in that middle area and focused on, let's just say, the bookmarks bar, you could do a search plus M to rename, delete, or perform other actions on that folder. That would include any folder you had previously added. So if you accidentally added a new folder in a place that you didn't want it, you could do that search plus M on that new folder to open that context menu and delete that if you wanted, or rename it. Accessing downloads and history is kind of important, so it's important to know how to get to those things. What's really interesting is you can do a Control plus J, and that opens the Downloads tab, and that opens it in a new tab. It doesn't navigate you away from your current location. It opens those downloads in a new tab and will more than likely open that tab for you and place you in it. Control H does a similar thing in that it opens the History tab. Now remember, we talked about this even more before, that downloads history and bookmarks, which will be discussed a little bit later, all open in a new tab in Google Chrome. And remember, we talked about how to switch from open tabs with the Control plus Tab to navigate forward, or if you want to navigate backwards, you're going to add a shift to that. So it's Shift, Control, Tab to navigate back. This is an example of what your downloads might look like, your downloads tab. Just like with the bookmarks, you're placed in a search field as soon as you open that downloads page, and your cursor is placed there and allows you to start searching for a specific file if you know the file name that you downloaded, and there are a lot of things in this particular downloads area. Once you navigate out of the search box there, you will find yourself in a list box that will be showing up where you're allowed to sort of cut, copy, open, or do whatever you need to that bookmark that's listed there. And again, we have that search plus left or right arrow that will take you to that More Actions button that is pretty much the same as the one we saw in the bookmarks area. Once you activate that, you can clear all of your downloads. You can upload or open the downloads folder from the pop-up menu as well. So there's a lot of, kind of important options to know about there, so you can avoid having to get out of here and manually open up the downloads folder and manually clear all of those. And you certainly have the option of clearing all of those from your downloads folder by opening the downloads folder. When you clear them from this open tab, it just means it doesn't take them out of your downloads folder. It just clears that space for when you download more items, so that you won't get terribly confused with the number of files and items that are listed here. This is the History tab, and just like with the Downloads and also the Bookmarks tab, once you have opened the History tab, you're going to be placed in this search field, and that allows you to search for a specific site in that history. If you happen to be kind of looking for something, you visited a website maybe a few days ago, but you don't remember what it was called, but you wanted to make sure that you went back to it and forgot to bookmark it, you can go to this History tab and find out maybe what you might have been missing. Each item will appear in a list, and you can remove the item individually from the history, or you can get more pages from the site in your history as well if you had been there but hadn't explored that page very well. And those are located in that menu, that more actions menu for each one of those history items. You can also delete multiple items using search plus up arrow and navigate between the items. So when the desired item is in focus, you'd press search plus paste to select it and repeat those steps for as many of the items in the history as you would like to get rid of. And then when you're done, just press backspace or delete, and you'll be asked to confirm that, and definitely press that enter if that's what you want. Just so you know, on the left side there's a navigation tree, and that area contains other options for clearing your history, like just clearing it all, and things like that. So you'll use your tab key to navigate to that. Accessing the address bar is also very important. You can use search plus E or control plus K to navigate to the address bar. Alt E will show the Chrome menu. The Chrome menu is located in that address bar sort of area, and it's really important to know about, and we're going to kind of be looking at that here in just a second. So the Chrome menu can be navigated with up and down arrows. You don't have to add a search to it. ChromeVox will tell you when there's a submenu. If the submenu is present, you can open that with a right arrow or search plus space to perform a virtual click or to click on it. Some menu items are going to have the key commands noted next to them, just like it has in previous menus that we've looked at. And in remembering to use those shortcuts will certainly improve your efficiency when using Chrome, although it's not strictly necessary. It just kind of gives you a hand and makes things just a little bit faster and more streamlined if you remember those keyboard commands that accompany this the Chrome menu here. Just so you know, you can access the settings for Chrome from this menu, which are something we're going to look at next. Settings include but are not limited to autofill, default search engine, saved and stored passwords, and that sort of thing. So they're very important to look at and to know what kind of data Chrome is managing for you. It's now as though we just had clicked into that settings area, and this is what the tab looks like. Once you've opened the settings, as usual, you're placed right in that search area so that you can search for settings that might be the most relevant to your particular question or problem. Once you've navigated out of that search field, again, with a shift and the arrow keys, or even tab would work, after you get out of there, your ChromeVox cursor will enter the navigation area that's physically located on the left of the screen, and we have seen those throughout this week. You may navigate through this area, or you can use search plus H to navigate among the headings to find the setting you'd like to adjust. Remember, if sticky mode is on, you do not need to press search. It just is simply the H, and we're going to kind of look at what each of these settings is and does. Firstly, the first heading you're going to come across here is people. You can sign out of an individual account. You can stop syncing or start syncing, or set up some parental control options. The next heading is autofill. Adjust what information autofills for you, like passwords and payment information. There are some sites that you probably will not want to save the login for. A good example would be a banking site. I wouldn't save my, if I wasn't on a Chromebook anyway, I wouldn't save my Google password and keep that password saved just because it's a security risk. And if people can get in and look at your stuff, that can kind of cause a little bit of a sticky wicket there. Please note that you use the same navigation commands to navigate and select any options that you'd like to modify in this menu or this particular area. You can adjust the appearance by using these settings, and you can change like the size, color, font, zoom, all of that kind of thing. Remember, again, you're going to use the same navigation commands to navigate and select any options that you want to modify. Search engine, you can search which search engine you'd like to use. Just because you're using a Chromebook, you're not limited to using Chrome. It won't like make you use Chrome. It'll just make it easier for you if you do. So you may make a different choice of whatever kind of search engine you want to utilize. So to choose that, you're going to activate the drop-down box with search plus space and use your up and down arrows to select, and then press enter to select the option that you want. So other examples might be Bing, DuckDuckGo. Those are the only two I can think of right off the top of my head, but there are others. The next heading is on startup. Use search plus up or down arrow to determine what option you'd like to use on startup, and then press search plus space to confirm it. So for example, in this particular one, I have some options here. I could, when I start Chrome up, I can open a new tab in the tab page and automatically have a blank tab for you. What I have selected now is to continue where you left off, and that's another option. A third option is to open a specific page or set of pages. So if every morning you get to work and your first thing to do is to take attendance, you can have that whenever you open Google Chrome, immediately go to the website that you would take attendance with. Some people like have those attendance management systems. So that's pretty much it for the basics of Chrome. Again, it's something that you're going to want to practice with and kind of give a shot to. See how far you get with it, and just, don't worry too much about whether you add bookmarks or change them or delete them, because really it's something that can be fixed when you get more used to it and in using Chrome with a Chromebook. So as usual, if you have questions, concerns, comments, or any other feedback, I'd be willing and very actually happy to hear it. So feel free to get a hold of me and we can meet on that, and I hope I can answer any questions you might have. Thanks and have a great day.